Mark in Cambridge, England. Sounds like a very educated place. It says, you often talk about the soundstage appearing to come from behind the speakers. Correct, that's where that should come from. I get that. Thanks. How do I achieve this, however, in a room where it's near impossible to put the breathing space that you talk about behind the speakers, which you suggest? I can't get my main speakers, which are meridians, more than 12 to 16 inches from the front wall. Is it possible to achieve the nirvana you describe? Yeah, you can. It's not so easy. And I hate to say anything about equipment, but in my experience, meridians are usually, they don't have the depth that many speakers do. They really go for this flat sound. And part of the reason we get depth has to do with the kind of speakers that you use. So when we're designing speakers, we're going to put just a little bit of a dip away from flat, because no speaker is perfectly flat, though Meridian uses a lot of active, or at least, I don't know which model you have, but in many of their speakers they used DSP to kind of flatten everything out, and that tends to be kind of upfront sounding, and tonally I'm sure it's correct, but what you really want is a speaker that is tailored to have depth. So anyway, I'm not going to, I won't go there, but it's something to think about, because you might try a friend's speakers or something there. So can speakers that are capable of depth work in a small room where you can't really pull the speakers away from the front wall? And the answer is yes, though it's not easy. So my friend Michael Fremer, who is a reviewer for the, the Tracking Angle and Stereophile magazine, he has, well, it's not a small room, but his speakers are right up against the front wall, and he has great depth. So one of the ways that that happens is by room treatment. So if you are stuck in a small room, one of the things that you want to be able to do is to have a dead end behind you, okay? So in Michael's case, he has a quadrillion albums behind him. I mean, you've never seen anything like this. It is a huge room, stacked like the Library of Congress to the ceiling, filled with albums, which are great absorbers, and they just suck up any of the sound. So if I were designing a room, I would put whatever I could get away with behind me to deaden the sound. The next thing I would do is I would put diffusers, or any way to diffuse the reflections coming from those speakers on the wall behind them, or what we would call the front wall. So doing those things will wind up giving you breathing room and space on speakers that are capable of doing that. So that's my best advice, and I hope that helps. Good luck. Thanks.